All right. Well, thank you for coming in to my office today. Thank you for looking over the confidentiality and just knowing everything that happens here, stays here with me. And what brings you in today?
So, I guess I've been noticing my drinking habits a little bit more. So, I feel like we're in college and, that's a normal thing to do.
Right.
And the way that I've been seeing it is I've been drinking, what I believe is a normal amount, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I've maybe been kind of not included in some things because of my drinking, or maybe because I want to drink too much and other people don't want to, so I'm
Right.
kind of just left on my own.
So you're pretty much saying that you believe you might be drinking in excess compared to your friends, or more than your friends might.
Right, and I kind of just thought it was normal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this isn't my first rodeo in
Right.
drinking, but everybody else seems to think that I'm drinking a lot when I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's just the norm. It's just, it's how I have always drank.
Right. And then, what do you, in your own words, what is normal? What are you describing as normal compared to other people's? What do you think is normal compared to what other people think is normal?
Well, if you figure you're pre-gaming before the bar, I can drink, 7 or 8 beers, or I can drink a half of a bottle of vodka, and my friends are having maybe 2 or 3 drinks, while I'm, maybe even sneaking shots
Mm-hmm.
in to kind of be on the same level that they are,
Right.
and it just something seems off, and I'm just not sure if it's me or if it's them or kind of why it's even happening.
Mm-hmm. Now, is drinking a main activity for you and your friends? Do you do other things, throughout the week, or is kind of when you all congregate when you guys are drinking?
Um, I guess we hang out a little in between classes, but it's more of a weekend thing, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
for most people. But when I come home, I'm having 2 or 3 drinks a night just to kind of make myself more comfortable, even if it's before me doing homework, I guess. I've definitely done that quite a few times, which I haven't thought about before.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, kind of taking what you said, that you're drinking kind of to make yourself more comfortable in your surroundings.
Right. Yeah, I just haven't thought about that. I just kind of attributed it to a normal kind of thing that college kids do.
Kind of like how a lot of movies and TV shows and everything kind of glorify drinking in college, and that might have manifested itself in you in kind of a different way than everyone else.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that, you know, just from previous experiences and engaging with people, that's kind of a lot of the stories that you hear from people in college. So I just kind of came in here with the mentality of that's that's what you do.
Right. Now, stepping back to when you said, when you come home from class, you may have 2 or 3 drinks just to kind of make yourself comfortable before, even doing something like homework. Does homework in general stress you out?
Absolutely. I think that everyone kind of strives for a certain kind of perfection, that they want to get good grades, even if they're not getting, A's, they want to at least put forth the effort. So that's kind of, I mean, I'm not a straight A student, but I would
Right.
like to be. And I think that it just kind of, yeah, puts me at ease a little bit more and doesn't make me feel as stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And do you think, I know you said, you had a couple of drinks to get comfortable doing homework and everything. Now, when you have, like, say it's a weekend and you say you go out and sometimes you could put away half a bottle, whereas other people may be having 3 or 4 drinks, they might be sneaking shots. Do you find yourself, the day after, usually people get hungover the day after they're drinking and everything, do you find yourself feeling like that a lot of the day, like most of the days after you drink, or do you kind of just kind of face it and go along with it?
I mean, I guess it kind of depends. It depends on how late we're out, or if my friends like to call it quits earlier in the night. What I do is I'll go home and cap the night off with a couple by myself. And if that's the case, then I usually am hungover because, I mean, the next day I think, wow, I drank a lot yesterday. But it doesn't really stop me from
going out.
Right.
And do you, when you are hungover after going out, do you really find yourself putting off homework because of feeling hungover? So that might be another added stress of
Right.
kind of a perpetual cycle of going out, feeling hungover, and then not getting home. And that kind of putting it to the side might add a little bit of stress into that situation.
Yeah, I never really considered that because, in the time you're just worried about, your friends and having a good time and making sure that, especially with feeling like I'm a little bit more kind of pushed off to the side now, I want to relish that time that I have with my friends because I feel like I always need to be there, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, you can't always be there with your friends. It's just something that you have to accept. And so when I'm with my friends, I just go all in and I'm not considering anything else. So does it put a damper? Absolutely. It, probably makes my grades. It's making me not as attentive to my studies as I should be.
So are there any other factors that contributed to your view of, your opinion of normal drinking? I know before we talked about kind of movies and this kind of a cultural influence. Are there any influences from maybe friends prior to coming to college that you might have done with them, or?
Well, prior to college, I didn't really drink much.
Mm-hmm.
I was a very good student. I was kind of taught through my sister, that in order to get into a good college and in order to prep yourself, you need to focus on your studies.
Right.
And, so I don't want to say that I was closed off, but I wasn't as, I was more into sports and academics, and I didn't really find myself socially kind of until I came to school.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was all kind of new to me and exciting, as a lot of different things are.
Of course, I mean, it's a brand new experience. I remember, when I first started college, I think that everyone feels the same way. You're kind of leaving the nest for the first time. You're getting that independence. But a big step in those first couple of years of college especially is kind of finding that footing, that time management, kind of finding how much time do I have for hanging out with my friends and doing all that other stuff, and how much time do I have to allow for homework and studying and kind of self-reflectiveness and, so on and so forth. Besides the homework, do you find any other stressors that might contribute to your feelings of wanting to go out and drink more and feel more comfortable?
I mean, I guess I am not as comfortable in my living situation as I could be. Mm-hmm. I unfortunately just wasn't right with my timing, and all of my close friends were able to live together, whereas I was just kind of a little bit lazy and didn't,
mm-hmm.
Go with them to see houses, and I didn't ultimately sign a lease. So, I'm not as close. The people I live with are still my friends.
Right.
But I don't think that I really feel at home there. So once again, it makes me feel a little bit more at ease. So if I can go out and be other places with other people,
mm-hmm.
it usually entails drinking, and sometimes that's just where I find my comfort.
Right. So one of the reasons you're stressed out about your living situation is you're not very close to your close friends. You're still friends with the people you live with, but not as close to everyone that you kind of go out with.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely, I feel excluded sometimes too, because even though I'm invited over there,
mm-hmm.
They have the ability to kind of because everyone lives in the same house, to be more comfortable and to kind of not worry about, you know, the walk home or the drive home.
Right.
So, yeah, I definitely think that, you know, it adds to my anxiety socially,
Mhm.
definitely.
So one of